Among the various great RPGs that I've played and fully immersed myself in, none have piqued my curiosity and left me with as many questions as Stellar Blade. This game has captivated me with its deep world building, thought-provoking theological and philosophical elements, rich lore, and incredibly smooth gameplay. The dystopian design of the world in this game is simply mind-blowing, and it offers everything I love in these games. Spoilers ahead, you have been warned. The story is not at all that deep upon first glance, but if you're like me, then you can never just enjoy anything. Humanity is on the brink of extinction caused by a cataclysmic event known as the Great Collapse that has ravaged the Earth, leaving behind a desolate landscape dominated by alien xenos called the Natiba. You play as an android, Eve, a mysterious young woman imbued with extraordinary powers sent to uncover the truth behind the Great Collapse and save humanity from annihilation. Like I said, on the surface it's not that complicated, but I'd like to focus on some key things that they did, or rather conveyed really well, that make the story and experience better. One of those things is the lack of humanity, or humans, and the feeling of isolation in the game, mostly conveyed through vast open desolate areas and ravaged war-torn structures. But going back to the lack of humans in the game in general, the idea of the why being encapsulated in exploration of the game makes me admire the storytelling even more. Most of the people you meet throughout the world are androids or robots with human memories and emotions. The lack of humans is almost immediate and apparent, and meeting the first two companions after losing Taki, this only intensifies after being thrust upon 807, and I think Shift Up completely nailed the isolated feel among other things, and paired with the narrative-driven findables, you really feel like The Last. This very idea is challenged in the game's narrative when we find Raven's hollow message and she reveals the true nature of Eve and the Natiba, which is confirmed by the Oracle. The reluctance to believe the information is what I'm referring to. Lily and Eve refuse to believe the information upon first hearing it, which reinforces that alone feeling, knowing there are no true humans left, only what an AI deems human. This game very much follows the Souls-like formula with withholding information in the in-between parts of exploration and cutscenes, and in like fashion, all of the deeper introspection is buried in logs and memories mixed in with the main cutscenes. Now how Stellar Blade does it differently and well is in presentation. The game is like this with its deeper elements being shrouded in mystery and deceit. Stellar Blade delves into theological themes presenting a narrative that explores the nature of existence, mortality, and divine influence.
I have gathered a good amount of information from the lab's records and the memories of Legion soldiers. We've always followed the instructions of Mother Sphere to the letter. Our salvation, our God. However, in truth, Mother Sphere was a powerful artificial intelligence created by mankind.
The discovery of ancient artifacts and lost knowledge plays a pivotal role in the narrative, serving as both plot devices and gateways to deeper introspection. Speaking of introspection, the memory sticks that are in all the locations best convey what was lost because of time, and I guess a physical manifestation of the soul. The memory sticks are some of the best tools to fully paint the picture of what happened before the Earth's demise. In esotericism, the concept of seeking hidden truths about the universe and the self is central. Immediately, you'll notice these themes in the names of the main cast, those being Adam, Eve, and Lilith. No, not that Lilith, but I guess in essence. Unfortunately, the game doesn't do much with this as a concept, but rather the key focus is on the traits and behavior of the cast and how they deal with the philosophical. For instance, when confronted with her own mortality, Lily stated sacrilege and blasphemy, rejecting the idea that the all-powerful and knowing Mother Sphere could be flawed. Now, the Mother Sphere plays a huge role in the grand scheme of this story because though given very little information about her origins and motives, we can see the effect she has on the remaining people and the world around us. This is seen through the memory sticks and the dialogue of the people of Zion, to my second point being about how the people of Zion are extremely depressed because of this. The overall tone and theme of the game, including dialogue, is very dark, depressing, and at times willfully optimistic but with no salvation in sight. I point this out to show how the people of Zion in particular deal with the arrival of Eve, or as they call her, Angel. Some of the people treat Eve as such, but the majority of people treat Eve like this.
Angel, angel, angel. Everyone's happy to call you the Angel just because you came from the colony. Aren't we humans just like you? Well, why should we have to dig through garbage, cower, and hide from nativos just to survive? Why?
This is interesting as far as the theological aspect is concerned, as in most religious scripture, the Messiah or prophet, if you will, had been persecuted for their existence. Now, as far as Eve and the rest of the main cast is concerned, the connections are arbitrary and vague to say the least. But one could argue that the angel and colony are allegories for heaven, and the angels coming down from heaven to save humanity. Going back to esotericism, Eve's arrival, viewed by some as an angelic figure, draws parallels to esoteric teachings where messengers or guides bring hidden knowledge to humanity. The mixed reactions of the people of Zion to Eve's presence mirror historical accounts of prophets and seers who were both revered and persecuted for their insights. This complex portrayal adds depth to the game's theological narrative, emphasizing the struggle between enlightenment and ignorance. This is also conveyed through other dystopian methods like control of information through propaganda and access to information, which is impossible for regular people, and the suppression of ideas or free thought, as most of Earth's inhabitants are completely beholden by their creator, the Mother Sphere, who has decided that the true humans are obsolete and the synthetic androids are to be the true perfect beings. I want to give a huge thanks to this Reddit guy for diving deeper into the link in esotericism. Check out the post for more information about this in particular. I only brush on the surface of the connection. Now for a more fun part, the combat and gameplay. I absolutely love the combat in Stellar Blade. It's so satisfying when you land perfect parries and perfect dodges with the slow motion and all that. I can definitely say, even after playing Dark Souls and Elden Ring, though it's only inspired, it is significantly harder than the Soulsborne games, in my opinion. Even Kingdom Hearts, which I've beat all three main games more times than I can count. I think this has a lot to do with the enemy design and the time windows given in combat. Firstly, the design for the nativas are very mobile and agile, not to mention these things look absolutely terrifying. But the hesitation mechanic is the linchpin in the combat, as pretty much all enemies use this mechanic. Exceptions are the range-based and kamikaze enemies. Nonetheless, the hesitation window in this game is definitely tighter than most and a lot less forgiving, especially in the harder modes. Now, on the contrary, the game's saving and overall forgiveness is greater than most with frequent camps and checkpoints, but as far as the combat is concerned, the generosity runs thin. But my argument regarding the combat and gameplay is not that it's too hard, but that it's very satisfying when played at a high level. All the moves, when perfectly executed, can make for a very satisfying experience, making you feel very, very powerful. The insane difficulty spike in the endgame was absolutely unexpected, and it happens almost immediately, as the final three bosses were the toughest bosses I've ever had to beat. It took me a collective of 3 days to beat the final three bosses. The mechanics I mentioned earlier are turned up to 11, and there is little to no forgiveness in any of the attacks. Plus, to top it all off, the last three bosses gain an insta-kill skill that you now have to juggle on top of the main barrage. Sorry, I just wanted to rant about that real quick. The gameplay of Stellar Blade is a significant factor contributing to its acclaim. The game offers a seamless blend of action and strategy. Eve's abilities such as enhanced agility and reflexes create a fluid and exhilarating gameplay experience. Each encounter becomes a ballet of strategic strikes and evasive maneuvers, ensuring that combat remains engaging and challenging. The integration of futuristic technology allows for diverse combat styles, enhancing the depth and versatility of the game. This level of engagement ensures that players remain invested in the game, eager to explore its depths and master its intricacies, which I can definitely say I've spent almost over 100 hours learning all the combat moves and getting all of the gear and exospines. Also, her sword, the Blood Edge, which is a badass name by the way, is also her hair tie. Pretty cool, which you probably already noticed, but I wanted to point out. They put a lot of detail into this game. The ambience and atmosphere is completely unmatched in almost all categories. Each setting is deeply detailed and intricate that you can't help but imagine what happened and wonder what was there before. The game also knows this fact with very scenic and dynamic shots and lots of scenic views. But aside from the breathtaking views and beautiful landscapes, the lore in the world is just as detailed, and you can tell a lot of work put into putting all the pieces together. I don't want to bring up the memory sticks anymore, so I want to talk about Digger. He's a small robot that gained sentience and got stuck under a crusher machine. Now, when we find him, he had been there for a while and had already had questions about his identity and why. I bring up the little guy to show just how much this little guy makes the world come together, where other characters more or less accept but not only believe they're human. Digger is not only curious but wants to do something about his consciousness, or at least wants to know why. This already puts him in a totally different category of character because he is aware of his mortality and wants to understand it. This is completely opposite to what the Mother Sphere wants, but everyone believes. They all truly believe they are the true humans. He even figures out how to hack into the Mother Sphere's network, though not for long. He still has more fight in him. On another note, Stellar Blade's soundtrack completely brings the atmosphere together. It has everything from calm ballads to lively jazz at Roxanne's. The calm and sometimes very ethereal sounds immerse you in the world, making walking through this feel like you're really there, and you can feel the emotion that went into making the world. And here we have another game that tackles the dystopian corporate entities that catapulted the world into the apocalypse, that being the Raphael Company and the Eidos Company, both having a stake in the advancement of technology leading to the AI singularity upon the creation of the Mother Sphere and the subsequent downfall of mankind. This game is definitely a more extreme example of how technological advancement like that would play out in a corporate-driven society, but I just wanted to point out that theme nonetheless. The world building and lore of Stellar Blade are nothing short of extraordinary. The game's setting is meticulously crafted with rich history and a vibrant, living world that feels both expansive and intimate. From the abandoned cities overrun by nature to the intricate designs of the vast open wasteland and deserts. Every element of the game contributes to a sense of immersion that is just hard to match. The game's lore is intricately woven into the environment, with relics of the past and echoes of a bygone era serving as a poignant reminder of humanity's once great achievements and the fragility of existence. This rich backstory adds depth to the gameplay, making every exploration feel like a journey into the unknown. Stellar Blade excels due to its profound theological elements, captivating gameplay, and immersive world building. These components come together to create a game that is not only enjoyable, but also intellectually stimulating and emotionally resonant. By blending deep narrative themes with engaging mechanics and rich lore, Stellar Blade stands as a testament to the potential of video games as a medium for storytelling and exploration of complex themes. Now, I'm aware of the weird position in the comparison between Nier Automata and Stellar Blade, but plenty of people have and will compare the two, and some don't even consider Stellar Blade worthy among the similar games like Nier. Though Nier definitely has a more nuanced, direct, and overall different direction in discussing transhuman identity and dystopian tropes, both games talk about similar ideas, and I think both do a great job at offering interesting stories but asking some of the most thought-provoking philosophical questions, and I think that's pretty awesome. Not to mention, Stellar Blade's gonna get a Nier Automata collab very, very soon, which is pretty cool. If you guys stayed this long and made it this far, thank you for watching, and let me know how you guys felt about Stellar Blade and what you think of the storytelling. I'd like to read your guys' experience with the game. Personally, I think this game is definitely in my top 10 favorite RPGs ever, but let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more video essays. My name's Proto, and I'll catch you guys later.